Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. That is now midday if you're in Australia, or I believe 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well and you had a good weekend. I'm a little bit hungover from Melbourne Cup yesterday, so if I sound a bit seedy today, you got to forgive me. Remember, if you've got any questions while I work, please feel free to pop in the chat and ask. If you don't just want to pop in and say hello, that is always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. Remember too that if you do miss the live streams, you can catch up at any time by clicking the videos tab on my Twitch channel page. I also upload all of my previous streams to YouTube, but YouTube is a few months behind Twitch because I have to keep my streams exclusive to Twitch for a certain period of time. Twitch told me I must. So we are going to continue working on the House in the Hollow game. You can wishlist that right now on Steam. If you either type !Steam in Twitch chat or you click the graphic in the About Me section on my Twitch page, that'll take you to the Steam store page. Remember too, if you do want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server and become a Phildo, just click the blue graphic in my About Me panels or type !Discord in Twitch chat. Okay, so we were working on the attic last week. We've finished the attic. Now, I was initially going to jump into the attic to make some corrections to the particle effects. Now, I did do that over the weekend. And I also added the particle effect that it's going to happen for that that urn that has the crystals in it. So I won't show it on stream because I do want some things to be a surprise for people that play the game. So we're going to jump straight into working on the sitting room. Now, the sitting room shouldn't take too long. We're going to reuse some assets we used for the study, like the floor. Most of the assets I've already created and textured up, but there's some that we have to do, so we're going to do that today. Pardon me. Very warm here in Australia, so I'm a bit dehydrated. Well, that and the fact that I drank too much yesterday, so it's one or the other, or both. Anyway, you guys know I don't normally drink, so when I do drink, it really affects me badly. Okay, let's jump straight in, shall we? We're going to jump into Max. Now, I've created this table that we need to UV map and texture up. Now, this table is going to have the... do you remember when we were doing the sitting room, guys? We made that old gramophone. It was initially going to go in the study, but there wasn't enough room in the study for it, so we decided we we're going to put it in the sitting room. So this table is to have that gramophone sitting on, basically. That's the plan. But we do need to UV map it, and we need to texture it up. We're going to UV map in Rhizome UV, and we're going to texture map in Substance Painter. So let's UV map first. We're in Edit Poly, and again I'm using the plugin. It's a free plugin to send the asset between Max and Rhizome and between Rhizome and Max. You don't have to, you can save the file out and import it, but using the plugin is much easier. And it's free, so why not? Table selected, let's send it over to Rhizome. There we go. I had to think about it for a minute. Okay, and again, Rhizome is a program, all it does really is UV mapping. It does it very well, because I really hate UV mapping. It's really important, but yeah, it's not something I enjoy doing, so let us start UV mapping. We'll do it in sections, I think, so we'll isolate the top. And for this one, maybe this one. It should work. And we'll stick to the same unwrap for this one. Okay. This one, let's see, let's try this unwrap. Yeah. No, this one's not going to do it for us. It does give us an unwrap, but let's just see if we can get a different result using one of the other tools. We've got a problem here, and this unwrap, no, we won't go with that. We may have to do this one by hand. Yeah, I think we'll do this one by hand. The automated tools aren't really working it out correctly, so let's do that. We're going to start, I think, by doing a cut on the inner sections. I'm just working out my new mouse here. I've found a shortcut key for the Alt key and I keep forgetting to use it, so don't do that. Let's cut that one. And that one. Okay, let's do cuts through here. And let's cut the top bit. And we'll cut the bottom bit. Alright, and we're also going to have to cut around here. Just make sure I didn't select anything by mistake. No, good. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Hard to see in this light. That one and that one. Okay, is there anything I'm forgetting? We might just do a slice through here as well on these inner corners. Okay, I think that's all of them. I don't think there's anything I've missed, so let's get it to do an unwrap and an optimize and a pack. Didn't do a great unwrap still. Okay, we may have to just nudge a couple of these by hand. I might get Max to do a repack on them as well. Oh, not that one. Oh, I'm just straightening them up a little bit. And then I'll get Max to repack them once we jump back into Max. I might just optimize. Let's keep going. This one should work for this one automatically. And it should work for this one as well. This one, we can pretty much keep it on the same unwrap algorithm, I think, for most of these pieces now, I think. We should be good. Apart from when we get to the feet, they're going to be a bit of a challenge. Okay, now we're at the feet. Let's have a look at... wrong one. These swirly ones. I'm going to do them individually instead of selecting them all at the same time. Just to give the program a little bit of an easier time of trying to work out the unwrap. Let's try this one. Not bad, but we're getting a little bit of stretching happening here. So let's just see if we can get a better result with one of the others. About the same, tiny bit of stretching. I mean, it's not terrible, but we'll keep going. Much better unwrap, no stretching. So that's the one we're going to use. I just go into object, sub-object mode here so I can get rid of the rest of the model. It's less distracting. Again, I could select them all at the same time and hope the program works it out, but it's in the long run generally quicker just to select individual pieces and do it that way. Okay, now let's move on to these bits of the feet, footsies, what are the table feet. You guys know what I mean. We'll try the same unwrap algorithm again on this one. Again, stretching here, we could probably go in and clean it up by hand, but let's see if any of the other algorithms will give us a better result. Not that one. We're getting a tiny bit of stretching happening. Majority of the stretching though is at the back of the model where it's never seen, because that's where it joins the table leg. Still, we'll check a couple of the others out. Yeah, no, I don't like the number of cuts it's put on that. I think probably this one is probably going to be, not this one, but I'm just trying this one again. I think probably this one. I think we should be okay, even with that tiny bit of stretching, because it's at the back of the model. Euro, it's good to see you, Euro. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? How's it going? Good morning to you as well. Phil's a bit hungover today, so if Phil sounds a bit seedy, you have to forgive him. I drank way too much at the Melbourne Cup work function thingy yesterday. I've got a bit of a headache and I'm a bit dehydrated. Anyway, it's good to see you, Euro. And all my friends in America. Today's a big day for you guys. You got your presidential election, haven't you? Although I think it was something like over 100 million of you did early voting already, so good on you. Good on you for going out and voting. It's really important. Regardless of who you voted for, it's important to vote. It's your right. You should do it. I know it's not exciting, but it's really important. Yuri says, I'm good, just busy at the moment. No problem. Hangover, I avoid that. Well, I don't drink. You guys know. I I gave up. My wild child days are well behind me. I don't do that sort of stuff anymore. I used to do it a lot. Going out to raves and partying all night, and drinking a lot, amongst other things. But I don't do any of that anymore. So when I do drink, I really feel it. And it doesn't take much to get me drunk. Not much at all. And they insist on plying me with huge amounts of alcohol during the Melbourne Cup work function stuff. Maybe because they enjoy seeing Phil drunk because he doesn't drink very much, usually. They're cruel. They just want to see me drunk, I'm sure of it. Again, we're getting a tiny bit of stretching, but I think it should be all right. Euro says, I'd love to crack open a bottle of ale or whiskey, but medication says nope. Oh, wow. So I avoided it all. Yeah, no, don't drink alcohol if you're on medication. They don't mix really well. Unless that's your intention, but don't do it. No, it's not good. Mixing alcohol and medication is never good. And it's much more healthy not to drink anyway, regardless of because you can't do it because of medication. It's just a healthier thing to do for your body, not to drink. Did you guys hear my phone just go? I swear, every time I start streaming, work send me messages. I'm sure they're watching me. I'm sure they are. Anyway, they can. I ignore them while I'm streaming. So if you guys at work are watching, whether it's the game studio or the Archbishop studio, whichever one it is, because I haven't checked the message, you won't be hearing from me until after the stream. Euro says, but it is what it is. Well, yeah. It's much healthier not to drink, Euro, so it's a good thing. I mean, I know having to take medication is not a good thing. I'm just saying not drinking is a good thing. It's okay to indulge occasionally, but just it's like anything, moderation, unless you're on medication, of course. Then it's never a good thing. Okay, I think we've only got one left to UV map and then we can take it back into max. Alrighty, let's do a once over to make sure I haven't forgotten anything because, you know, Phil forgets things all the time. I think we're good. I don't think there's anything I've forgotten. We are getting a bit of stretching happening here, actually. Why is that? Why? Just through here. So I'm just going to isolate. I think the reason we're getting stretching there is because I forgot to do a cut. So let's just do a cut. There. I think we should be good. What I'm going to do is when we jump back into max, I'll get max to do a repack. I'm just selecting that piece we just put a cut through. I'm going to isolate it. And I'm going to get Rhizome here just to do a repack. That should fix that up. Now I think we're good. Euro says, yeah, I usually have a tipple on New Year's Eve and that's it. Then regret it for the 2 days after when I say never again. That's the same as me. I drink on 3 occasions. I drink on Christmas Day, New Year, and the Melbourne Cup. They're the only 3. And unfortunately, they're all sort of like near each other. So Melbourne Cup's in November, Christmas is in December, and of course, New Year's Eve is the 1st of January. So I go for a good 11 months alcohol-free, and then in 1 or 2 months, I'm hitting the alcohol on those 3 occasions. Anyway. And I regret it too. Every time I always... because just the feeling you get after the next day, it's never nice. It's not a nice feeling. Let's send this back to max. Okay, now we're going to throw an unwrap UVW down, and we're going to get max to do a pack. I'm not going to use the automated tools here for max. There's a button here you can hit to get it to do a repack. There are a couple of options, rescale and rotate, you can turn on or off, but I prefer to actually go through the tools menu. Go pack UVs, because I have a few more options here than I'm given here. So we can normalize, I don't want to rotate, we can fill holes and we can rescale, just no rotation. And that looks nice and clean. Let's turn off map seams because it gets annoying to see those green lines. And now our table is UV mapped. That's good. Let's do a quick save. So you got any big plans for New Year or Christmas this year, guys? Getting up to anything exciting or interesting or different? Just actually in Australia, because we've just been going through the COVID thing, even though Melbourne now is COVID free, thank goodness, more 0 days, no infections for the last 5 days, nearly a week. But we were in lockdown for 3 months under curfew for 3 months where we couldn't leave the house after 8 o'clock at night. We still have to wear masks everywhere if we go out because that's the law and you'll get fined if you don't. But it does mean that all of the states in Australia have locked the borders down. So because I live in Victoria and most of my family live in Queensland, I can't fly up to see them because you can't fly out of the state. They've locked the border down. So I'll be having Christmas here in Victoria and not going up to see my sister and my brother and their family. Yura says, crack open a whiskey and regret cracking it open in the morning after. No, it's Christmas or New Year. You're allowed to. You're allowed to. You can regret it for 1 day a year or 2. But yeah, so I won't be able to fly up to see my brother and sister and their family for Christmas. I'll have to stay in Melbourne because they've locked us down. Well, even though we have no cases, because we've only just come out of having no cases, all the borders are still locked down. So there you go. What can you do? All right. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to collapse the stack because we don't need to have all of these modifiers. It doesn't hurt to have them there, but there's no point. And we're going to go into sub-object mode and I'm going to start trying to think about how we're going to texture this up in Substance Painter. So let's make this one a red. Let's make this one a yellow. Colors don't mean anything. It's just so I can get, I can separate them up when we texture them inside a Substance Painter. Let's make this one. We're going to make this one a red as well. So I should have probably selected both of those. Wow. There we go. Accidentally flipped the verts there. We don't want to do that. Let's make this one an aqua. And then we can make this one. I'll use more colours than we're probably going to need. Make this one a purple. And we can make this one... actually, I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to go red, 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 and red. So we'll make all of those red. And then that will leave this bit and this, well, no, not that bit, just this bit. Let's make that a darker purple. And then that will leave, let's make the curly bits on the feet. They're probably going to either be a wood or a metal. I haven't decided which yet. So again, yeah, this table is going to have the old gramophone on it in the sitting room. Let's make that. Let's make it this browny colour. And then that will leave this bit here. So we can make the feet a metal as well. So let's make them, it's really dark green, and then that just should leave these bits here. So let's make them, I'm running out of colours. Let's make them this really deep magenta colour. Okay, let's make sure we haven't forgotten anything by turning on vertex colouring. And I think we're good. I don't think there's anything I've missed. And again, it helps me to see, sort of like try and visualise in my head the different materials on the different colours and how they're going to blend together. So the table will be wood, obviously. We'll probably go with it, and again, all the other furniture in the building is either a cherry wood or a chocolate wood, so we're going to have to sort of like keep to that colour theme. Euro says the lower lip on the table edge is has miscolour. That's just because of the optimization, actually. You're talking about this little bit here, aren't you? Yeah, that's because I've optimized the table to bring down the poly count. Yeah. I've optimized the table to bring down the poly count. So what we can do is select it, and I'm just going to scale it up a little bit. So we've got a bit of a lip on it. Now you should find that there is no miscoloration. It was just basically what was happening was that was intersecting that. So scaling it up a tiny bit fixes that. Makes the table look a bit more interesting in the silhouette anyway. So I think we should be good. Let's turn vertex colouring off so I can see the model. And study table, that's fine. I'm going to save this as a revision in case we want to go back. So we'll call it study table R for revision 2. Okay, let's export it. Let's get into the right folder. I made the mistake of updating the BIOS on my main motherboard over the weekend, and nothing happened. Like it updated fine. Updating a motherboard BIOS can always be a really risky thing to do, but because you run the risk of bricking your motherboard if you don't do it properly. None of that happened. It updated properly, but it updated to a version. Like I was using a really early version of the BIOS from 2018 when I bought the motherboard. So I updated it to this year's version, the 2020 version. And basically what happens is all of those Spectre and Meltdown mitigations that happened, so Intel baked those into new microcode, which was updated with the new BIOS, which means it has slightly slowed my computer down, which is really annoying. So I'd completely forgotten about that. So I had all those Meltdown and Spectre turned off. But now when I updated the BIOS, they were built into the BIOS, so there's no way to turn them off. So it's sort of like reduced the performance of my computer by maybe 5%, but still, I can feel it. I know. And I'm so annoyed I didn't realise when I updated it that would happen. I should have. Yuri says I update mine regularly. It's pretty pain-free these days. It's not common to brick a motherboard that way these days. No, it's not. You are correct. It's you've got to be really unlucky to brick your motherboard these days with BIOS updates. The companies have made it really much easier to do. Yeah, and mine went through without a problem as well. The only thing I'm saying that annoyed me though was I forgot that Intel had put those fixes for Spectre and Meltdown in the microcode in the BIOS. When you update the BIOS, it updates the microcode for the CPU, and that automatically turned those mitigations on, which is a good thing. It means my computer's more secure. But it also means my computer's a little bit slower, about 5% slower because of those fixes. Anyway, too late to go back. I mean, that's the problem with BIOS updates, particularly with some motherboards. The big red warning letters on the manufacturer's webpage saying you cannot downgrade past this BIOS. Once you upgrade to this version of the BIOS, you cannot go back. You can go forward, but you can't go back. So I'm stuck with it. Euro says, I installed Windows 10 2H20 last night. Old PC took 30 minutes. This PC took the time of a system restart. Yep, I'm running the new version of Windows 10 as well, the October update anyway. You can tell by the tiles all being the same color. And yeah, it's been good. I haven't had any problems with the new update, new Microsoft Windows 10 update. It's been running properly. Euro says there's not much new in it. Pretty low risk update. Yeah, that's true. It's mainly there isn't a lot. I mean, they have done some bug fixes in the code behind the scenes, as they say. But as far as stuff you'll really notice, there's not much. There's the new look to the start menu, a couple of bits and pieces here and there, but not a lot. Nothing much to write home about, as they say. But it's working well, no problems. I have not had any issues with the update. I know some people are a bit wary sometimes to update Windows 10. I've never had a problem with one of the updates. I always recommend people update to the new versions of Windows, the new whether it's the cumulative update patches to fix security holes, but or a major update like the new October update for Windows 10. It's always a good idea to do them. They make your operating system more secure, and generally you don't run into problems. So. We're going to jump into Substance Painter and create a new project. My dialog boxes are all resized again because of the upgrade to Windows 10. Basically, the upgrade is almost like a, well, I guess it is like a complete new install, apart from it keeps all your programs and apps. But it recreates the Windows folder, renames the old one Windows Old, so it's almost like a reinstall, almost. And that means, of course, everything gets reset, like the size of my boxes and stuff on my dialog boxes, my Explorer, my File Explorer, when I want to open a program that I haven't used since I did the update. That's what Phil's trying to say. Let's bring that in. We're going to go at 2K. We're going to compute tangent space per fragment because we're importing into a game engine. Well, we will be. Everything else should be okay. It's been a while since I've worked in Substance Painter. We've been working on the attic for a little while. Okay. I'm just going to rename the material. We're going to call it sitting room map for material. First things first, let's bake out our maps, and we're going to use the low as the high. I do need to change the ID map from, actually it's on material. Normally it defaults to vertex color, but this is the newest version of Substance Painter. It's the first time I've actually used it since I installed it. And it looks like they may have fixed that bug, because it used to default to material color. Then when some updates ago, it seemed to change to vertex color, but now it seems to be sticking to material color. So well done, Autodesk, for fixing that, because that was really annoying. Really annoying. Let's bake out our maps. Euro says, it's the big spring updates that usually it's better holding back with. I haven't had a problem with any of them. None of Microsoft's updates have caused any issues for my computer at all. I forced the October update. I didn't wait for Windows to send it out because I didn't want it sort of trying to do an update while I was in the middle of doing some sort of job or work. And it's been fine. Normally I'll let Windows Update tell me when it's ready to update. That's the safest way to go. Just in case there's some conflict with some piece of hardware you've got in your computer. Microsoft do that just to make sure that you don't have any issues. But I forced this one and there was no problems. Apart from your printer, Euro says, well, I haven't had any problems with my printer either. It did update the driver for the printer as part of the update to the October 2020 Windows 10, but my printer still works fine. So I haven't tried the scanner yet, but it shows up in Windows devices, so I'm assuming it's going to be okay. Let's go into the smart materials, because we created smart materials for the other assets in the building, so let's reuse them. Keeps everything nice and consistent. Now let's see here. How do I want to texture this up? I think we'll go cherry wood, chocolate wood, cherry wood. I want this table to look a bit more special because it's got that gramophone on it. It's going to be the gramophone's important for gameplay because it actually triggers something in the game. So I want to make sure the table sort of reflects the fact that the thing sitting on it is quite important. Yura says, I had to jink mine because it was an inkjet and ink dried out in the tubes due to lack of use. I was worried about that myself. I've got an inkjet as well. And my colour cartridges ran out on the inkjet like 12 months ago. And so they were just sitting, I left the cartridges in there, but the printer was saying ink low or ink empty sort of thing. I generally just use the black and white when I want to print stuff out. So I didn't worry about changing the colour cartridges right away. And then when I bought a kit of cartridges and I swapped them over, and I was afraid that was what was going to happen, that the ink will have dried inside of the tube, and if that happens, trying to fix it is a real pain. Thankfully, it did take like 20. Most printers have like a button you press to clean, like a cleaning cycle, where it prints out a test page of colour. I had to run that like 20 times because it took that long for the actual tubes to, I don't know, get cleared out, I guess, and have ink flowing through them smoothly again. It got there in the end, and it's fine now, but yeah, I was worried about that because, the first 10 pages, 15 pages, they weren't printing all the colours out correctly. But it did fix it in the end. Yura says, only found out that one time I needed it. Here it says, if I buy another printer, I'll go laser. Toners never have that issue. No, they don't. Toners are more expensive to buy than inkjet cartridges, depending on the model and whether you're buying genuine ink, I guess, or not. But, laser's the way to go. It gives a much crisper print as well. But, it does tend to be a little bit more expensive to run. As far as toner cartridges can be quite expensive. Alright, so let's find a material. I've got quite a few different cherry type woods going on here. Let's look at this one. Yeah, no, I don't like that one. I use that one on the painting frames. So again, these are smart materials, but they're smart materials that I created for the different bits of furniture already in the building. In the game level. Just got to wait for Substance Painter to catch up here and cache these. Nura says, less e-waste with a laser since you don't have to bin a printer every few years. I've had my printer for a good 4 or 5 years. It's lasted quite a while. And I don't plan on upgrading it unless I need to. I mean, I print out stuff for work quite a bit, but not generally colour stuff. It's more boring business-related stuff that needs to be printed out. So then, text documents, all that sort of jazz. That's why I tend to use the black cartridge more than anything. I'm going to throw this one down. I don't want this one, I don't think, for the top. This one might work for the top. Makes that table look nice and old. Let's just get rid of this blank layer at the bottom and have a look at our stack. It's fine. I was just worried we might have been using mask by colour selection, but we're not, so that's okay. But we do want to... Yura says, if I need stuff printed, I send it to my folks. They use their printer all the time. Less hassle that way. I chuck them a ream of paper every now and then. Oh, man. Well, fair enough. I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for my... Well, yeah, I don't want to wait for someone else to do it for me. I want it now. Now. I want to hit that button and I want that physical printout. So I'm happy to do it myself. My printer is like right over there, right behind my second computer. So I don't even have to move very far to get it. So this might be okay for a base. So let's keep going and add something else. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, it's the same one I picked before. Bad, Bill. Bad. Let's have a look at this one. That's a pretty plain one. I don't like that. Bill says no. Let's try this one. This one might work. So I'm going to mask with color selection on this one to, oh wow. See, now you see what's happened here? It has not picked up our material IDs. You're working my last nerve, Substance Painter, you really are. I'm just going to remove that mask. We're going to jump back into the bake. And how are we going to do this? Why did it not do it? Material color, it should be picking it up. Why didn't it pick it up? I've had this problem before. And I can't quite remember how I fixed it. Cage file. We're using the low as the high. Yura says if I was needing a print to print stuff often, then I get another one, but I don't. Yeah, I have to print stuff quite regularly, at least a couple of times a week. Generally, I need to print stuff out. Bad for the trees and the environment, I know, but I need it. I need a hard copy for business. So. Need to set it to vertex. Oh, you're. Thank you, Euro. You are completely correct. I'm losing my mind. I'm hungover. Come on. I did warn you guys before the stream that I was hungover, so what probably was Bill's going to be a bit seedy. You are correct. We have to switch it to vertex color. It defaults to material color. We work in vertex color for this model, so that's what we need to do. Man, I'll just do a bake. I could just deselect everything, bake out the ID map, but it's just as quick for me to bake everything back out again. Thank you, Euro. Now, let's mask with color selection to the top of the table. Man, I can't believe that. Brain fart, that's exactly right, Euro. A complete brain fart. Wow. Okay, I'm hungover, that's my excuse. We're going to throw a smart mask down and we're going to go with surface worn. Because why not? And let's just play with the mask a little bit. So we're just going to pull in a little bit, like that's too worn. I want it to be a little less worn. Pull back on the contrast. Off on the ambient occlusion. That should be right for the top of the table. Let's concentrate on this piece here through the middle, this ring through the center. Here it says that wood-based material looks nice. Thank you. Yeah, again, it is a smart material, but one that I created myself for the other furniture we're using in the room. just to give the furniture that aged look, so it doesn't look like it's just come off a production line. It's an old table. I mean, it's a 1920s building, so the furniture in it has been used for, over 100 years, so it needs to look old. Let's concentrate on this ring here in the middle. Let's see what we can do with that. So let's jump into our normal materials. Let's see what we got to work with. Let's have a look at this one. I'm just going to close my stack here. Let's see what this is. And again, I'm going to mask this with color selection to that central ring. Let's have a look at the scale. Let's do a rotation. To 90 degrees. Just rotate around a little bit. Okay, now we're going to have a bit of a problem here because of our seams. So I think what I'm just going to do quickly, I'm just going to do a save on this project. And we're going for the sitting room. And we've got the antique study table. We're just going to call it sitting room table. And we're going to jump back into Max. And I'm just going to throw an unwrap on that selection. Okay, and this is the problem we've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch these. Oops, okay. I always miss that little box up there. I wish they wouldn't put it right up there because it's easy to miss. Then let's stitch this one. And then let's stitch this one. Now that does of course mean we're going to have to do a repack on the UV, so I'm going to collapse all and do another unwrap. There's no way for me to really manually place this and keep the rest of the unwrap, unfortunately, because it's too long. So I'm just going to get Max to do a repack. But again, we're not going to rotate the clusters. Let's just save the Max file. Re-export the model. Yura says, I was going to ask you, will ray tracing be required for the game or is it optional? It is completely optional. The House on the Hollow game, the asset you see me working on is for the game, anyone that's watching that doesn't know. And the game does support ray tracing, but you do not need a ray trace capable card to play it. And even if you do have an RTX or a ray tracing capable graphics card, now AMD are coming out with a new range of graphics cards tomorrow, I believe, that support ray tracing. We haven't tested those in the game, obviously, because they're not out yet. Even if you do have a ray trace capable graphics card, you can still turn ray tracing off if you don't want to have ray tracing on. Of course, you know, some people want to play games without ray tracing. Some people want ray tracing. Well, you have the option to turn it on or off. If you don't have a graphics card that is ray trace capable, what will happen is the game will default to using DirectX 11. It depends on the operating system you're running on. Yeah, I'm not sure actually about that. I'd have to ask one of the programming guys how that works. Basically, you need either Windows 7 or Windows 10 to play the game. If you're playing it on Windows 7, or do you need Windows 10? Do we change that? No, I think you can still play on Windows 7. You do need a 64-bit operating system, whether it's Windows 7 or Windows 10. If you're playing on Windows 7, it uses DirectX 11 because Windows 7 doesn't support DirectX 12. But that all happens automatically when you start the game up. There's no selection. It just, when you run the executable, the game will work out what your operating system is. If you're running Windows 7, it'll run under DirectX 11, which means, of course, you won't get ray tracing because it's only DirectX 12. If you're running on Windows 10, you will get ray tracing and it will run under DirectX 12, but you can turn ray tracing off. And if you don't have a ray trace capable graphics card, then it will run anyway without ray tracing. You are going to miss out on also on DLSS because the game supports DLSS as well. So you will need a ray trace capable graphics card to turn on, well, to use DLSS. But you certainly, long story short, you do not need a ray trace capable graphics card to play the game. But if you do have one, then you can turn ray tracing on or off at your at your discretion, whether you want it on or off. There's only a checkbox in the menu to turn it on and off. It's not complicated. It's very, very simple, very easy. We wanted to make it as easy as possible. Now, I know a lot of you PC people and I'm the same. I like fiddling with every dial and everything to get everything balanced up exactly the way I like it. We decided not to go that route with ray tracing because you'll even notice with titles like, say, Watch Dogs, they really only have a switch to turn ray tracing on and off, pretty much. Some games give you the option to turn reflections on, ray trace shadows on, We're not going that route because ray tracing is such a fine balanced thing to get it optimized properly that if you leave it up to the user, the chances are that they're going to choose something that's just going to mess everything up or make performance really bad. So we've simplified it all for everyone. We found that's the best way to go. So there's just a checkbox. You either turn it on or you turn it off. Also, it's the same with screen space global illumination. You can either turn that on or turn that off. The performance penalty for global illumination is not too bad. It's only a couple of frames a second, but you have the option to turn it off if you want. If you want those extra 2 frames a second, you can turn it off. Yura says, I was having a discussion with others about upcoming ray trace titles. AMD CPUs tomorrow, GPUs on the 18th. Oh, that's right. It's the CPUs tomorrow, isn't it? Yes, so all options are available. You can either turn ray tracing on, you can turn it off, you can turn global illumination on, or you can turn it off. And the game will also have DLSS, but only if you're using an RTX graphics card, NVIDIA obviously. If you're running on AMD, then DLSS, of course, is not going to be available. And as far as ray tracing goes, I'm not sure about ray tracing on AMD graphics cards either, simply because this is the first generation of AMD that has support for ray tracing, and the cards haven't been released, and the game is already, well into development. So I can't promise ray tracing on AMD. I can promise it on NVIDIA though, as well as DLSS. Okay, let's re-import the model. So we're going to edit the project and we're going to reload up the table model. And now I'm going to have to do a rebake because the UVs have changed. Again, vertex color, that's all good. And I can have a copy while it's doing it. Yes, are you guys excited for the new AMD GPUs being CPUs but released tomorrow? I mean, they do seem pretty sweet from what I've seen of the benchmarks and stuff. If AMD marketing is to be believed, they do seem really cool. Like, I'd like to upgrade my computer again, and I'm seriously considering an AMD CPU. I'm going to see what the benchmarks are like in the reviews once they've been released tomorrow. And it'll either be AMD or Intel, of course. I generally always go Intel in the past, but I'm curious to see these new AMD GPUs, what they're like. Yura says AMD are going to have their own equivalent of DL to DLSS through DirectML, part of DirectX. Yeah, I believe that AMD have just said that it's not going to be ready on launch for the graphics cards, though. So, yep, they will have their own version of DLSS. We'll have to see how good that is. I've signed NDAs and stuff with NVIDIA, so I can't really talk too much about DLSS, but I can tell you it's incredibly, incredibly good. And it's something NVIDIA should be really proud of because it works very well. So I'll be interested to see how AMD, what AMD come up with. But again, AMD themselves have just come out and said that their version of DLSS won't be available on launch of the graphics cards. They didn't say when, how long after launch it would come, but they are working on it. It will come eventually, but not at launch. So just keep that in mind. And again, I don't know with AMD's version how that's going to work, whether game developers are going to have to specifically code for it or not. I don't know. Yeah. So I just wanted to add something that was a bit more interesting for that ring that ran around the table to make the table look a bit more special. We're at 553 here. I actually don't mind that pattern, but we'll just see what the pattern looks like if we change it. I'm just going to copy that value. I still think I quite like that pattern. Yura says the 3900X was awesome CPU when I got it last year. Oh, sweet, that's a sweet CPU. That's 12 core 24 thread, isn't it? Yeah, that's a 3900, I believe. It's a 3950 that's 14 core, or it's a 12 core. The 39, anyway, Yura says was an awesome CPU when I got it last year. Don't know if I'll upgrade the CPU this year. Definitely GPU though. Yura says AMD stuff will work through DirectX. They said that much already. So if the game supports DirectML, it will work on their cards. The same with DirectX ray tracing. Yeah, DirectX ray tracing, I think, what is that called? DSR? Again, don't quote me. I'm not really familiar with the built-in DirectX stuff because I've been working with NVIDIA's RTX stuff. But I believe it's called, or it is a DXR. Anyway, yeah, the default stuff. NVIDIA sort of used the default DirectX 12 ray tracing, but then they build on top of it again. So, which is why it's proprietary to NVIDIA, RTX stuff. Yura says, yeah, 12 core, 24 thread, the 3900. Yeah, that's sweet. How have you found that CPU, by the way? I'm glad you're in the stream because I wanted to ask. I've always used Intel CPUs in the past. I have an AMD machine here as well, but that's an older one. But I'm considering AMD for my next upgrade. And I'm asking for things like Windows. Have you had any problems in Windows 10 with the AMD CPU? Has it been problematic at all? Like, I know you have to install specific power plans for AMD CPUs in Windows 10. Don't use the default one, but use AMD specific power plans, power management, power options. And I know you should install the AMD chipset drivers in Windows 10 and not rely on the Windows built-in ones, but has there been anything flaky about your machine at all? And Yura says 3950 is 13 core 32 thread, or sweet. 16 core 32 thread, that's a 3950. Yura says great, honestly zero issues. The power plans come with the motherboard. Oh, chipset, okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, because I've just, like I said, just started doing a bit more research on the AMD side of the CPU for Windows 10. And I noticed people saying that they have their own power plan and stuff. So, but if it comes as part of the chipset drivers, cool, that's easy. And the fact that you've said that you've had zero issues, that's great. Because it would either be a new AMD 5000 CPU or it would have been an Intel 10900 or whatever it is, i9 10900 that I was considering. I probably won't do the upgrade until the new year though, because it's getting too close to Christmas now, and I don't know about you guys and wherever you live, but in Australia, the postal service starts to slow right down around this time of the year because everyone's posting stuff for Christmas. And I don't want to spend money and not be able to grab something until, you know, the new year anyway. So I might just leave it till the beginning of the new year when everything's quietened back down again. It'll give me more time to do some research as well on what I want, all that sort of jazz. And I upgraded my GPU not long ago, a few months ago. And I'm very happy with the GPU, I have to say. Euro says, I get BIOS updates from the manufacturer, chipset drivers from AMD chipset drivers. I get BIOS updates from the manufacturer, cool. Chipset drivers from AMD. Chipset drivers from motherboard manufacturer downloads always lag behind AMD's. Yeah, I've heard that too. Instincts Oz, thank you for the follow. Are you another Oz person? I'm from Melbourne. I'm in Australia as well. Thanks, Instincts, for the follow. I do appreciate it, guys, when you follow the channel. And welcome to Phil Does 3D. Remember, Instincts, if you do want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server, none of my mods seem to be in chat today. Bad mods. That's the link you can click to get an invite link if you want to. You don't have to. It's just a place where you can show off work in your gallery, show off your work in the gallery. There's a section where you can post to your ArtStation and all that sort of jazz if you want to, as well as just a general chat section and a tutorials and tips section that the guys have come, the users of the Discord of any interesting tutorials they've come across, they post there. So completely up to you. Again, I'm just going to remind people that are not subbed to my channel here on Twitch, don't post links in my Twitch chat. Everyone can post links in Discord, that's why it exists. But only subs can post links in Twitch chat. So don't do it. You'll get timed out by usually a moderator when they're here, or Nightbot. Instincts says, I'm planning on upgrading and was thinking of AMD. Yeah, same as me. Hi to you as well. Yeah, I have an Intel machines. I've got 2 Intel machines and an old AMD machine. So I had bought AMD in the past. But I'd like to upgrade my main rig again, and I was thinking AMD this time because from everything I've read so far, it does seem pretty good value, and the chips are actually supposed to be faster now and single-threaded performance than Intel, and that was the one thing Intel still had going for it, was the single-threaded performance. But hey, if AMD are better, then I'll buy AMD. You're from Melbourne as well, cool. At least it's cooler today. Yesterday was awful. It was so warm. Another Australian. Well done. I don't get many Australians in my stream, simply I think because of the time I stream in Australia. I stream for peak time in the US, which is 5 p.m. Pacific time over there. It's really late for the guys that watch me in Europe, but I get a lot of guys from Europe watching as well. But yeah, very few Australians, so it's good to see another Australian. And another Melburnian. How did you cope through the lockdown? I have to ask, because I mean, you know, we've all been locked down for how many months was it? We've only just opened up again. How did you cope? It was a chore, I tell you. I mean, I understand why they're locked down. I don't have a problem with it, but man, we went on for so long. Now we can move more than 5 kilometers from our home. It's also another good thing. Euro just says, one thing I would say is that if you're going for stability, stick to getting compatible RAM kits from Motherboard's QVL list to guarantee no issues with RAM. Yeah, I generally, even with the Intel stuff, I make sure I check the QVL list for memory and buy memory that's on the QVL. I will. I've heard that with AMD, it can be a bit more fiddly with memory. So I'll certainly make sure that any motherboard I get, I'll check the QVL and make sure that the memory matches, for sure. Instinct says, yeah, I'm taking a quick break and thought I'd flick through Twitch. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, what I think I might just do with this central piece, though, is I'm just going to duplicate the layer again. And I'm going to just make some alterations here. Like, I have sliders for what it's a smart material, or a smart material, yeah. So we have sliders for dirt, which we can sort of see if I pull it up and down. So I'm going to pull up on the dirt. It's a shame I don't have an option to change the colour. That's generally what I like to do. That material change is only for the decoration from copper. Yeah, the brass and silver. If we change it to a silver, then I can do a mix maybe. Oh, hang on. We do have some colours here we can change. Yuri says, I do love the fact that the CPU can have a lot of apps running, especially when coding, and it doesn't phase it. Yeah, well, that's why I'm considering it. I mean, I was considering the 10900K, the Intel machine CPU, but it's a 10-core, 20-thread. If I go AMD, it would be an AMD 5900 probably, or 5900X, which I believe is still a 12-core and 24-thread. So those extra 4 threads can come in handy, particularly I do a lot of video editing stuff as well, so and rendering, of course, so the more cores for rendering the better. That's why I'm considering AMD. Liberton the Sky, thank you for the follow. Liberton? My apologies if I'm mangling your username. Liberton the Sky, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Phil Does 3D. It's good to see you. Liberton says, just call me Liberta. Okay, Liberta. I'll call you Liberta. Thanks, Liberta, for the follow. And like I said, welcome to Phil Does 3D. So yeah, the more cores is always better. Instinct says, yeah, mostly all good, fine. It was a struggle sometimes to study with everyone home. And doing online classes. How did you go? You know, I was okay. I was going a bit stir crazy before the end of the lockdown being, you know, because we were in curfew for so long. We couldn't go out after 8 o'clock at night, as you well know. So I was going a little bit stir crazy. But I coped okay. I work for an ArchViz studio. You two are new to the channel. I'll give you a bit of background about me. I work for an ArchViz studio and a game studio. What I'm working on here is for a game. The game studio, and I work from home a lot of times anyway. Like the ArchViz studio, I've got to go in for meetings maybe twice a week, or before the human malware I was. But so I'm used to working from home. That wasn't a problem for me. It was just the fact that I couldn't go out after 8 o'clock, and I felt like the walls were closing in a little bit. So I'm glad we can go out now. But all up, I've coped quite well, I think. But I'm glad that it's easing up. I'm glad we've got no cases. 0 cases for 5 days now. That's so cool. Yuri says, and for rendering, it beats my 1070 hands down, but GPU is fairly old now. Yeah, look, GPU rendering is really fast. I prefer to do GPU rendering than CPU rendering now. It's because it's so much quicker. Having said that, though, just having the more CPU cores will be good for me for other things like video editing and stuff. The new version of Premiere Pro, which is what I use to do video editing in, that actually can use the GPU now as well, the very latest version of Premiere Pro. So it does hardware decoding and encoding. The decoding is new. So everything's moving to the GPU. But having said that, it's still good to have a lot of CPU power as well, a lot of threads and cores. It helps. I use V-Ray in 3D Studio Max. 3D Studio Max is my program of choice. It's what I use at the ArchViz studio and at the game studio. And we use V-Ray in Max. And V-Ray, you can use the CPU and the GPU at the same time to do a render. So it'll benefit that as well. More cores will mean faster renders as well as using the GPU. So. Thank you, Euro. That's the link for the game. I'm working on an asset for a game called The House on the Hollow, and if you click that link that Euro just popped in chat, that'll take you to the Steam store page where you can check out the game. It's not available for purchase. It's you can wishlist it, but it's not being released till next year. So Euro says it depends on what I'm rendering. If it's a large scene, high RAM requirement, CPU always, because my GPU is only 8 gig. Okay. Instinct says, yeah. Not being able to leave too was frustrating for me. I know, it was terrible. Look, I get it. I mean, I was happy to do it because, you know, people die when they get the COVID. So, we can't call it that. My videos go to YouTube, and YouTube will do all sorts of horrible things if they hear that word. We call it the human malware to keep YouTube happy. I see. This material, we can switch between different styles, which is interesting. Let's just check out some of the styles. Yuri says, for game assets, I'll just bake those on the GPU because my game assets workflow pipeline is primarily GPU based. Yeah, again, you see me baking out here in Substance Painter. That's using the GPU, and you see how fast it is. Now, I am using a pretty good GPU, but still, any GPU bakes out really quickly. And yeah, I've got a lot of VRAM on my GPU as well, so that's why I tend to do a lot of use the GPU a lot for rendering in VRAM. I'm not really restrained by VRAM. Yeah, Invictus says yeah. I actually don't mind this pattern. Nura says, yeah, same with Marmoset. It's fast at baking. Yeah, the GPU baking now in these programs is really fast. I actually think I like this pattern more than the circular one. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to switch to this pattern. I'm just going to make the same change on the underlying layer. So we're going to go to cubes, back to the top layer again, and I just want to see if I can make some changes to the color. Yura says, gone are the days of Mental Ray. Yeah, well, Mental Ray doesn't come packaged with 3D Studio Max anymore. It used to, but not anymore. It seems we can only really change the color of the marble. That's not really what I want. So, what can I do here? Not a lot. Maybe the only way we can really do a color change is to play with the contrast or the hue. Yura says, I still have it on my 2016 install, but 2021 Arnold is great, so no need for Mental Ray. Arnold's great. Instinct says, all right, it was good. I've got to go. Have a good stream. Thanks for popping in, Instincts. Thanks for the follow again. I do appreciate it. I'm live every Monday and Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is midday if you're in Australia. So midday on Mondays and Tuesdays is when I'm streaming. You have a great day. Good luck studying as well. Yeah, what were we talking about? That's right, GPU rendering. Yeah, it's really cool, really fast. But yeah, with V-Ray, it can take advantage of both the CPU and the GPU as well. So more cores would benefit that regardless, which is why I'm considering AMD. But it's been a while. I've generally always stuck to Intel, but from what I'm reading, these new CPUs are pretty sweet. Now, Intel are due to release a new CPU in the first quarter of next year, between January and March, apparently, supposedly. But they're dropping the core count. What is wrong with Intel? So the current Intel cores have 10 cores, 20 threads. The new cores that Intel are releasing in March next year, the beginning of next year, have 8 cores and 16 threads. I don't get Intel. They're just constantly shooting themselves in the foot. So that's why I'm considering AMD, because I want more cores. It's just stupid. I don't know what is going on. What is going on at Intel? I really don't understand it. Yuri says, if I ever get time to work on my own art, I'll probably get V-Ray again. I don't need it at the moment. Yeah, look, V-Ray is great. I love V-Ray. We use it all the time at the studio, at the Archviz studio. We don't use it at the game studio. We use Unreal, but we certainly use it at the Archviz studio all the time. So now, not so much the saturation. What about the luminosity? Yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull back on the luminosity. That should give me what I want. Well, I'm going to group both of these layers together. I'm just going to call it inner ring, just so it's named and I know what it is. And we're going to throw down a smart mask. And again, we're going to go with we'll go with surface worn. I'm going to throw that on here. And I'm also going to make sure I do a mask with color selection again, just to that ring. We don't want it affecting the rest of the table. Let's play with the balance. So what I'm doing, I'm just using that to bring in like a bit of dirt on that inner ring. It's a shame you can't get time to work on your own art, Yura. I mean, art is really good. I love doing artwork. Yura says, I'm pretty addicted to Marmoset though. It's kind of my go-to for rendering these days. Marmoset's very good. I prefer to use V-Ray to do my beauty renders. I'm not saying Marmoset's bad. I'm just saying I just tend to prefer V-Ray. Personal choice. But yes, Marmoset is very good. What I might do here is I might do an invert on this so that we can make it look more like the dirt is accumulating in the corners of the table there. Again, we're going for a look that's really old. We want to make the table look aged. Here it says, yeah, contract I have at the moment. Oh, okay, the studio's other outside contractor left for another job, so I have a load more work to do until they find a replacement. I can relate. You guys know I had to miss a stream a few weeks ago because the ArchViz studio moved a deadline forward. I mean, that's even worse. You get given a deadline and then they move it forward. So normally you push deadlines back because, you know, things take longer than they normally will. You think they will. But they said that they moved this one forward, so I had no choice but to work my little butt to get everything done in time. That was not fun, let me tell you. It was not fun at all. What can you do though? You're told to do it, you got to do it. Let's just leave that for the moment. I'm just going to move down to the feet here for a sec. I want these to be a metal, so I'm going to go with, let's go with this gold. I'm going to mask with color selection to that part of the feet. Let's also go with this gold. And again, I'm going to mask with color selection to the feet and also to this. I'm going to do that for this one as well, actually. I'm going to do a mask. This one. Mask to that as well. And we're going to throw both of these in their own group. I'm going to call it feet. Let's just do a quick save. I don't trust this program. You never, you know, never hurts to quick save often. Euro says I don't mind. It's extra money. Actually, I get paid a set amount regardless. Unfortunately, I mean I do contract work for private clients as well, but yeah, not this one. The deadline was moved forward, and Phil got nothing for it, except and also probably dealing with the stress of having the deadline move forward. Euro says make hay while the sun shines. I guess, yeah. Well, that's true. Again, we're going to go back into our smart masks, and we're going to throw down smart masks. There we go. Let's see here. What do we got? I tend to use the same smart masks quite regularly because they're really, really useful. But let's try something else. Let's go with, let's try dust soft edges on this one. And again, I have to mask that group to what we're working on, which are the feet. Curvature. I'm just bringing in a little bit of the tarnish. So yeah, I'm using it just to bring in a little bit of that tarnish metal. This makes it look a little bit more interesting. And again, a little bit older. I might even just make the legs, the feet look a little bit more special by bringing in another material, smart material. And we're going to go with there is one I created. I created it for a book. We'll see what that looks like. If I can find it, because I can't remember what I called it. It should be at the top. Where are you? Yura says, I wish you could mark substances as favourites in Painter. That would be a handy feature. It certainly would. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can create your own shelf. I guess you could create a favourite shelf and you could maybe put them in that sub-shelf. Yeah, but I agree. Having a favourites would certainly be useful. I mean, you can filter as well. I can't filter because I can't remember what I called it. I think I called it Magus, maybe. Oh, there we go. My Magus book. That's the one I want. I'm going to throw that again on the feet. And I'm going to mask it with colour selection just to the feet. Or just to these bits here. Oh, I see. I'd forgotten I'd made that part of the gold as well. That's okay. We can do it this way. We're going to move that into the feet folder. And then we can throw down another smart mask. And this time I am going to go with surface warm. Let's see here. I don't know what's going to give me the look I'm really looking for because of the fact that they're combined as one object in the material. I just wanted to bring in a little bit more gold. So it looked like the gold is sort of worn off of the feet, and that's why they're tarnishing and, you know. So I just wanted to bring in a tiny bit of gold to make the feet look a little bit more interesting. Okay, let's, how are we going for time? Okay, let's look at the middle part of the table here. We do have this piece here, so let's jump back into our materials. JJ, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Phil Does 3D. It's good to see you, JJ. I'll call you JJ because I'm not sure how to pronounce Jimuan. JJ. Welcome to Phil Does 3D, JJ. Do remember again, guys, if you do want to join the Discord server, just click the link I popped into chat. Don't have to, saying if you want to. If you want to know more about me, if you're new to my channel and you think, who is this guy and what's he doing? I'm working on a game called The House on the Hollow. So I work for a game studio and an Archviz studio. We're making a game at the game studio called The House on the Hollow. That game you can wishlist right now on Steam by typing exclamation Steam in Twitch chat. That's the link if you want to check the game out on Steam. It's not available for purchase. You can wishlist it though. But if you want to know who I am and you want to know more about me, just go to phildoes3d and put a .com on the end of it. So my Twitch username with a .com. That'll take you to my website with all my social media links, and you can find out more about me there. JJ says, "Moo." I will call. JJ says, "I'm more into prop design, environments, and backgrounds." That's the sort of stuff I do as well. I'm an environment artist at the Archviz studio. I specialise in photogrammetry. The Archviz studio, we tend to take a lot of old buildings, so we use photogrammetry for the facade, which is my sort of specialisation. But I also do environments as well, like, yeah. Love your work. Thank you, JJ. Wax Kink, it's good to see you, Wax Kink. How are you today, my friend? I'm good. How are you? What you been up to? It's good to see you, Wax King. JJ says, it's amazing what you do here. So much to learn. Well, that's what we're here for. The whole reason I stream on Twitch is I want to encourage you guys to do 3D and also to help you if I can in any way. I don't pretend to know everything. I have been doing 3D for a very long time though. So, yeah. And I love looking at the work you guys do. So that's why we have the Discord server. So if you want to join it, you can post a link to your work in the gallery. There's also a place where you can post links to your art station or your portfolio as well. And the tutorial and tips section, which the guys and girls that are users of the Discord, all of my members, the Phildo members, if they ever come across anything interesting as far as a tutorial or a tip goes, they post it there. So lots of interesting, useful information under tutorials and tips section. And Wax King says, I'm well, been busy and staying productive. Well, that's good to hear. It's always good to stay productive. And it's always good to stay busy. Within reason, of course. I'm glad you're well, and I'm glad you're staying happy and healthy in this human malware world we're living in. I was saying to the guys, it's a big day for you guys in the United States as well, with the presidential election happening. I'm just looking for something that might be interesting for the bottom of the table. Don't know whether I'll have anything, but we'll see what we got. So again, we're working on the study. No, we're working on the sitting room for the game. So this table is going to go in the sitting room. And this is the table that's going to have that antique, what did I call it? That gramophone, antique gramophone sitting on it. JJ says, same school works are piling up. I need someone to work with at least. It always helps to have someone to work with. Helps keep you motivated too. A lot of the guys that watch my channel have me going as they're working in the background. So like I'm flapping my lips in the background while they're working. The guys will tell you I very rarely shut up. I'm a real motor mouth. So they tend to have me going in the background while they work. I get that. It's always nice to have a friend when you're working. Euro! Yes, Euro. Euro laughs. Yes, that's right. Phil is a motor mouth who never shuts up. I don't know why I bother playing music in the background because I never shut up for you guys to hear it. So that's probably the reason I use royalty-free music, copyright-free music. I know a lot of streamers have had problems with copyright in the last few weeks or months with Twitch because they've been playing copyrighted music. Naughty, naughty streamers, you should not do that. I probably would never have gotten into that problem anyway, even if I did play copyright music, because I never shut up for Twitch's algorithm to actually pick up on what the music is that's playing in the background. Okay, what could look good down there? Maybe a marble. Let's see what a marble looks like. We have these stylized marbles. Which is not really what I was going for, but it might work. Let's see what this one looks like. Because it's got a deco theme to it. Might work, might not. Probably not going to work. Anyway, I'll just make sure I mask it to the color selection so we can get a better idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the height information as well. So we don't want the height. I'm just curious to see if we can get something that looks interesting. I just pull back on that a little bit. What I might do too is I'm just going to play with the blending a little bit. Because you never know what you can get with a blend. Here it says, do you have one with similar colors to the table edge? We can change the color of this one, but let's just see what we can come up with if we play with the blending. Because sometimes you can get really interesting effects just with a blend. There was one here that didn't look too bad. We can darken this color up a little bit. It doesn't give me a lot of options, unfortunately, for color. We can change the opacity a little. So we get a better blend color-wise between the wood and that pattern. I think what I might do is we might use that as a base. And What do I want to do? What do I want to do? And I think what we'll do is we'll throw a dirt layer down. So I'm pretty sure I have a dirt in here. I generally don't use these. I usually use my own sort of dirt, but there is a couple of, it does come with a couple of dirt materials, substance painter. Let's try this dirt layer. I'm actually going to apply it to the entire table. Oh no, this one is not doing what I want. Let's try this one. Again, this is one of the ones that comes with Substance Painter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the height information. I don't understand why it puts height information on a dirt layer. Just unnecessary. I'm going to turn the metal off as well. Again, I don't generally use this dirt material because I don't really like the look of it, but sometimes we can use it if we sort of, maybe if we play with the blending. And let's also play with the mix amount. Let's change the color too, let's make it darker. I probably don't know that the table needs a lot more. Let's do a quick save. Again, I'm just going to look at that piece at the bottom. So I'm going to... Maybe we should look at the bit in the middle. Let's get rid of that filter. And let's see what else we got here. I want to differentiate that central piece from the top and the bottom a bit more, color-wise. So I'm thinking to go with a more of a chocolate wood. Let's have a look at this one. Let's see, maybe not. Let me mask it with color selection just to the center. We want to turn off the height information on these. Yeah, I don't really love that. Let me get rid of that. What else? What else could we do? Let's see what trying to mix a metal would look like. I'm just curious. Because sometimes you can get a really interesting combination between mixing a wood and a metal together. You never know until you try, and it's easy to remove if you don't like it, so... Let's see. No. Let's have a look at this one. No, that's not the look I'm going for. Let's try this one. Possibly. I'm just going to find the layer that is in for the central piece here. Which one is it? No, that's okay. We can do it this way. I can do a mask with color selection to that. And then we can... Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. I was afraid you weren't going to make it today. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Time slipped by on you, that's okay. You made it just before I signed off for the day, so that's the important thing. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. Let's go with a smart mask. And let's look at what would be good. Android Lust says, I'm good. I was looking at the election stuff in the US. Yes, I was saying to the guys, it's a big day for you in the US. Your presidential election happening. It's all happening in the United States today. Let's look at... what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw this in its own group. Even though it's only one layer, we're going to group it. And we're going to call it Center Table. That'll do. Now I'm going to throw a smart mask down on that. And we're going to move in here and we're going to play with the mask. So basically what I want to do here is I might even can I do that? Random. Might do an invert. So what I'm looking for here is I want to bring up the metal on the inner part, not so much on the outside edges. I might just go in and do it a little bit by hand, a bit of painting. Wax Kink says, well everyone, I'm going to take off and play some games before sleep. Have a great night. Thanks for popping in, Wax Kink. You have a great night too. I'm back again next week, by the way, Monday next week. Andrew Doss says, your camera color seems off today. Do you think it looks a bit dark? I pulled up the contrast a little bit, so I'm a little bit darker. Do you think it should be a bit lighter? You got a keen eye, Android Love. I did knock it down a little bit. Let me just hang on. I should be able to do this live. Pretty sure. Oh, you're seeing my couch in the background there. So if I take this to a 5, oh no, to a 5, not like that. It needs to be a minus value. That's pretty much the way it was last week. Andrew says I'm using F-Lux, but it still looks different. You'll be here, Wax Kink? Cool. Oh, that registered as a link? He's talking about your F-Lux. Let's see, I just want to get this table done. So I may pull it down a little from the top. Scratches. I won't change scatter. What I do want to do, I think, is I do want to remove some of it from here, so I'm going to add a... Is it a white or a black mask? I always get them confused. I believe it's a black mask. No, it's the wrong one. I want to add a white mask. Yes. And I'm just going to paint out the edges. A bit too far there. I should actually be using the dirt brush here. I might just make the brush a little larger. I might just remove a little bit more here and there. I just wanted to make the table look a little bit more interesting. Let's do a quick save. JJ says, "Hi Phil, I was just wondering where can I post just my past work so you can check it out? Maybe? You don't do 3D. I do more line. You can post it in the like. Do you have like a link to ArtStation or something? Is that what you're talking about, JJ? If that's the case, jump on the Phil Does 3D Discord server. I want to look at all your artwork. It doesn't have to be 3D stuff. Yep. Yeah, jump on the Discord server. So you join the Discord and pop it under the... have a look here. Under Folios and Demo Reels. So on the Discord server, there's a section on the side called Folios and Demo Reels. Pop the link in there to your ArtStation or whatever, and we can check it out from there. So jump on the Discord under Folios and Demo Reels. You can pop your link to your ArtStation there. If there's something in particular you want to show off, you can pop that in the gallery. Be posting soon? Cool. I like looking at the stuff you guys make. I'm just going to check the gallery because at the end of every stream, I like to show the work you guys have posted in the gallery. If you don't want me to show your work on stream, when you post the image in the gallery, just say, please don't show this on stream, and I won't. Because Grizzly Gear posted a model he's working on, and so did Morak, so I want to show them on the stream before I close all. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to export the textures for this table. Let's make sure we put it in the right folder. UE4 projects, models, sitting room, antique study table, and export. And save. Okay, let's check out the work from Grizzly Gear and from Morak. So I'm just going to open up my browser. and we'll have a look. So yeah, actually the camera, you were talking about the camera, Android last. Do you think it's too dark still? Or do you think the color is too much maybe? Do you want me to pull back on the color? Maybe the color's a bit richer than it was. It depends on the lighting that's happening at the time, and it's overcast here at the moment. So this is from Grizzly Gear. Grizzly Gear is working on this model. Updated the lady, and she's looking really cool. Again, this is a 3D model. I love the design. It's looking really, really cool. Really interesting design. Lovely model. It's going to look amazing once it's finished. Thank you for letting me show it on stream, Grizzly Gear, as well. Oh, sorry, JJ, it's saying you don't have permission. Okay. My moderators are not here. I don't know why. I will fix that for you right now. Just give me 2 seconds. JJ. I'm just looking for you, JJ. Yeah, there's normally a cooldown, like when you're new to the Discord server, just to stop spam. There's like, you have to wait like, I think it's 10 minutes before you become a member, 10 or 15 minutes, but I can do that for you immediately. So you are now a member, JJ, and you can post. My apologies. Yeah, it's just a thing to stop spam bots from hitting my Discord server. But you should be good to go now, JJ, if you want to post your links or your images. The camera seems red, but I figured it was... Oh, the camera seems red. Maybe that might be my... I may have the colour up a little bit. Hang on, let me have a look. Colour correction, saturation... Is that better? I think it might be better. Yeah, I can see what you were talking about with it looking a little bit red. Smurf's probably looking at the election stuff. You're probably right, Android lost. Yura says, well, battling with HLSL shaders can never tell with them. No problem, JJ. And the other thing I wanted to show was Morak's work, because Morak's been working on the space shuttle. And it's looking very sweet. Very sweet indeed. I love his texturing. He's done some really nice texturing work. The model itself is beautifully done. And Morak says after 10,000 years, because Morak's been working on this for a little while. But he's done an amazing job. I'm just going to post a couple of other links just from different angles that Morak has put in the Discord. I like this angle actually. I like seeing the exhaust, and again, lovely texturing work, beautiful modelling work. He's done a really nice job. He was almost going to give up on the model there for a little while, and we managed to talk him into continue working on it, and I'm glad we did, because he's done a really, 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 really nice job. So again, this is Morak's work. Top viewport. Yep, beautifully done. I know you're not in chat today, Morak, but really nice work. The shuttle is great. Yura says, yes, it is. JJ says I posted too. Okay. Again, if you don't think if you're posting on Discord, I won't see it, because I have my Twitch chat open and I have Discord chat open at the same time. So anything that goes into Discord, I see immediately. Never fear. Just making sure my fiddling with OBS there didn't do anything weird to the stream. Okay, so JJ, I can show your stuff on the screen. Cool. All right, let's have a look. So this is some of JJ's work. JJ posted this in the demo. JJ's not doing 3D work. JJ's doing 2D stuff. And that looks very nice. Nice 2D work. Painter's props. Yeah, really nice. This is more of an environment piece here that JJ has put in. Let me have a look at that. Yeah, that's lovely. I really like that. I like the composition. I like the colour as well, like the pale pastel-y colours. It looks really cool. Yeah, really nice work. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It reminds me a lot of Japanese art, anime. It reminds me a lot of manga anime, that sort of look. It looks really nice, really nice. Now this is a black and white piece here. Again, that's nice as well. Yeah, really lovely work. Interesting, like good choice of perspective, angle and composition. It looks really cool, really cool. This one as well, actually I want to look at this one. This looks like a kitchen scene, I think. Yeah, beautiful work. Yeah, really beautiful work. Down to the steam in the coffee mug, the detail on the back tiles. It looks really cool. Really nice shading work. I used to do concept art years ago, like when I first started working in games development. I was an environment artist and also a bit of a concept artist, so I used to do a bit of concept work. I haven't done any for a very long time now, but I can appreciate really nice artwork. And you've done an outstanding job. It looks amazing. I love it. Even just down to the bit of detailing here in the wood on the cabinet. It looks really cool. Beautiful work. All of them are really nice. I love this. I love the clean look of this one. I love the composition and angle in this one. And I really like this one. It's probably one of my favourites. So I love the shading work and the detail you got going. Beautiful work. Thank you for letting me show it, JJ, on stream as well. Is there anything you need to improve on? Again, it's been a while since I've done concept art. I think that I love this. I can't see any improvement really for this one. Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't think so. I think everything looks really cool. I mean, there's nothing that stands out to me as being a problem. Everything looks great. No, I think you've done beautiful work. Unless the guys can suggest something that I'm missing, but and Andrew likes the Street View one the best. Yeah, I like this one too. But I think my favourite is this one. I like this one. I like the moody feeling of this one. It's got a lot of atmosphere to it. You're interested in doing 3D too? You should. You should do 3D. I encourage you guys to do 3D. It's a lot of fun. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be to do. I mean, the worst part about doing 3D is learning the software, the interface, to actually move everything around. Once you've learnt that, then it's really easy. And if you've got a really good artistic background to begin with, which you obviously do looking at your work, you're going to find doing 3D much easier as well. Like, yeah, you don't have to learn art. You already know art. So once you learn the tools of 3D, then you can make some really amazing looking 3D pieces of work as well. Modboy says images would go well with a chill stream on YouTube. They would. Good to see you, Modboy. Did I already say hello to Modboy? I can't remember. Oh, look, Phil's hungover today. It was Melbourne Cup yesterday and I drank too much, so give me a break. Give me a break, guys and girls. Yeah, I had the Melbourne Cup thing yesterday, which is why I didn't stream yesterday, but I'm feeling it today. I've got a dry mouth and I feel tired. Phil is tired. Yura says you have a good grasp of perspective. Yes, he does. He or she, I'm not sure. But yes, JJ certainly has a good grasp of perspective for sure. Andrew Lust says, I want to say the last one gives a noir feel. I know that probably isn't the right description. No, I can see why you'd say that. It does. It has a noir sort of feel to it. Might be the colouring as well. Noir generally is black and white. But it does have that feel. This one has a very Japanese feel to me. I don't know why. It's maybe just me. I love it. I'm just saying. JJ says, thank you very much. I'll be hanging around here more. You're quite welcome. You're welcome anytime, JJ. I'm live every Monday, Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. So my schedule never changes. Remember to, if you do want to follow me on Twitter at PhilDoes3D, you can get a reminder that way when I'm live, because I always post when I go live on Twitter as well. So you can either you probably get a reminder now that you're followed from Twitch, but if you don't, if you got that switched off on Twitch, reminders when people go live, then you can keep an eye on my Twitter account at PhilDoes3D, and when I post, because I always post when I go live there. You love perspective, JJ? I do too. JJ says, which now I'm struggling with character designs. Android Lust, speak to him. He's one of the best character artists I've seen. Android Lust says it's comfy, but in a lonely feel. It does. Yes, no, Android Lust you look through the gallery on JJ on the Discord there. You'll see stuff that Android Lust has posted. He does some beautiful character work. Really, really lovely. Which fits sort of well with your design style as well, I think. JJ says to Android Lust and Modboy, thank you so much. You will, yeah, check his work out. I think we might leave it there for today, guys and girls. Phil needs to go and get a drink and to rehydrate, and then Phil is going to go and have a nap, because Phil is very tired and very hungover. Phil doesn't normally drink, and when he does, he really feels it. And Melbourne Cup was a special occasion yesterday, so yeah. I drank, and now I'm paying for it. I will be back, of course, on Monday next week at 5 p.m. Pacific in the United States. That's midday if you're in Australia, 1 a.m. or thereabouts if you're in the UK or Europe. Remember, if you do want to join the Discord server, do that. If you want to follow me on Twitter at PhilDoes3D, you can do that as well to get a reminder when I go live. But apart from that, I'll be back on Monday next week. Yura says, you have a hair of the dog, you feel better for it. No! God, the last thing I want to do is drink more. Just the thought of it makes me feel like I want to puke, Android. Euro? No. Phil needs to drink a big glass of water and have a little nap, I think. That's what Phil needs to do. I'll be back on Monday next week. You guys stay happy, healthy and safe. Good luck, you guys in the United States, with the election today. I'll be keeping an eye on the news channels here after my little nap to see how things are going with your presidential race. And you guys stay happy, healthy and safe in this human malware world we're living in. I will be back, of course, on Monday next week. You guys take care and have a great weekend. See you guys.